Hello everyone, today I am here for my review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now this movie was my most anticipated movie of 2023. I've been hyped for it for years. I love both of the first two Guardians movies. They're top 5 MCU for me. I love the Suicide Squad, I love Peacemaker. James Gunn in the past 10 years has just made some of my favorite comic book projects of all time. So naturally I was extremely excited for the end of his Guardians trilogy before he moves over to DC. And yeah, I'm very excited to talk about it. Now, I've been trying to do non-spoiler reviews, but this will be a full spoiler review of Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3. So if you have not seen it yet, go check it out in theaters, then come back and see it soon. But with that, if you have seen it, let's get right into this review. Now, on to the negatives. I really don't have too many negatives about this movie, to be completely honest. Just a couple little things. I wish they'd used more of Tyler Bates' classic Guardians of the Galaxy score more. They used it a little bit in like 2 moments in the film, but I wish there was like one big epic moment where they used it. And it was less of like, oh yeah, they use it here and there in the finale, and more of like the big overarching thing in the scene in the movie. Then also, I wish they never really explained what happened to Star-Lord's mask and jet boosters. Like, they were damaged in Guardians 2, but then they were back in Infinity War and Endgame, and now they're gone again. That was kind of weird. I wish they explained what happened to those. And just finally, one minor little gripe for me. Part of me feels like the ending, they did play it a little bit safe. Now, this is something that I'm extremely mixed on. Part of me loves it, part of me is like iffy on it. Like, where nobody died, and they all end in a place where people were talking like, oh yeah, this is the big, definitive end of the trilogy. I'm never playing this character again. I'm never playing this character again. But all the Guardians are in positions where they could very easily return, given Marvel give them enough money. Like, they could very easily do, oh, Avengers Secret Wars, we're getting the original Guardians of the Galaxy back together again. Like, sure, like, creatively, maybe it doesn't make as much sense, but I feel like the ending did play it a little safe in that regards. But, onto the pro side of that, the ending of having all the Guardians survive is kind of a good message of how together they're able to persist through anything. And they're all able to team up to help Rocket and kind of face this message of not running anymore, and through not running anymore, they're able to conquer their fears. And I feel like having a couple of them die maybe would have counteracted that message a bit. So that's something I'm a little iffy on. Not a big problem with the movie, and it's something that's becoming a less and less of a problem the more I think about it. But onto the pros. Oh my gosh, this is such an emotional and well done ending to the trilogy. It's got beautiful visuals and effects, amazing camera work, some amazing action sequences, especially the one-shot action sequences with No Sleep Till Brooklyn. A great soundtrack. I love The Dog Days Are Over, No Sleep Till Brooklyn. I love Creep, Since You Were Gone, In the Meantime. The Return of Come and Get Your Love is amazing. So Austin Mix Volume 3 is great. John Murphy's score, aside from the little gripe earlier, is really, really good, especially of the scene of Rocket and his friends. It has so many cool new diverse locations and such. I love like the big like muscle like fleshy prison thing or like complex. That's insanely cool. The High Evolutionaries Fort is awesome. I love Nowhere being such a big place in it. But going on to the real draw of this movie, the emotions and the characters. Oh, well, first off, the movie is extremely funny. I had a lot of great jokes. That was just a little thing I got to get out of the way, but the movie, it's such a satisfying end to the trilogy. All the performances are amazing. Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Palm Clemente, Karen Gillan. Everybody gives probably their best, maybe their best performance in the series. Groot is fun again. They all have such great dynamics. Peter Quill going back to his father, Drax accepting retirement. It's just all really well done and emotional. I love seeing more Groot, but the real big draw of this movie is Rocket Raccoon's story. And the High Evolutionary is the new villain. And I think that is all tied in the story so well. I think ending this trilogy with the Guardians teaming up to take the most reserved member and help every member of the Guardians face their past and push forward to a new future is honestly really beautiful. And like the way they show Rocket's origin story is just, it's so tragic, and you kind of know how it's going to end, but it doesn't take away from the emotional weight, from the amazing performances of Lila, Floor, Teef. Linda Cardellini is great. It really hits you in the heartstrings. The High Evolutionary is such a hateable villain, and he causes so much pain and suffering just for his own twisted goals. And it makes it so hard to hate, but also one of the best villains in the MCU with an amazing performance by, I don't want to try and say his name because I know I'm going to butcher it, but the High Evolutionary is great. But then Bradley Cooper's Rocket Raccoon, maybe one of the best vocal performances of any character in a movie of all time. Just so emotional and intense and well done. And it's hard not to feel for this character, and he goes through such amazing development. So easy to see why he has been the way he is right now. But I love seeing that set up the future of the Guardians. And honestly, the end of this movie, well, I was a little iffy because I was kind of like, oh, I expected this really sad emotional ending. Well, it is emotional, but it's like all the Guardians found their peace. They got to have this bright future together. I think that's awesome. I also love just a lot of little moments. I love Cosmo. I love seeing Howard the Duck. I love Kraglin. We got a cute, cool little Yondu cameo. Adam Warlock, played by Will Poulter, is insanely funny. And overall, this is just probably the best the MCU has been since No Way Home. It's a great addition to Phase 5, an amazing end to James Gunn's Guardian trilogy. I hope we see a lot of these characters again in the future. I'm satisfied with the ending to this series. So I loved Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. I hope you guys like the video. Coming up soon, Peter Pan and Wendy, Star Wars Visions Volume 2, Fast X, The Little Mermaid, and more. So I hope you guys like the video, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.